I'd be sweating like a pig going to slaughter right now. It's hot.
Love it, love it. Yeah, just because anything that's the opposite of what we have in January, I'll take. So I don't want an extreme cold or extreme hot, but if I have to pick an extreme, I'll always take hot over cold any day.
Love it or hate it, the heat not going anywhere today. Excessive heat warnings in effect in our state.
When weather creeps up to 110 index, they can get dehydrated and it can become a factor. Some horses don't fare well.
We've raced in hot weather before, so this is nothing new.
The race is on. Amid concerns of the horses' safety in this year's Haskell race, Monmouth racetrack officials say they can keep the horses safe without canceling the event. And just how dangerous are these conditions? Meteorologist Justin Godnick with a full weather breakdown straight ahead. Hello, I'm Karen Lee. An oppressive heat continues across the Garden State this weekend. Excessive warnings in effect around the tri-state. This has caused many event cancellations, while this misery affecting 195 million people around the country. Alerts stretching from New Mexico to Maine. Here's a look at current conditions at the beach in Belmar. Some people choosing to brave those elements today and soak in this summer heat despite those advisories. We've got team coverage right now. News 12 New Jersey's Rebecca Granite at Monmouth Park, a protest taking place behind us. But first, let's get to meteorologist Justin Godnick. Justin, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you this much, Karen, and this is dangerous heat right now. You saw that shot of Belmar. Everybody down right by the water because there is no sea breeze to be found at this hour. Getting reports in from Manasquan Beach, no sea breeze. Seagard, it just looks like with the west wind, it's as hot as it is inland right on the sand, which makes things even dangerous at the beaches. Current temperatures finding their way well up into the 90s already. We're sitting at 95 degrees in the Toms River area here. We have 92 at Belmar, Old Bridge 89. Let's zoom on into Monmouth County. This is where we'd first look for the hints of a sea breeze to pop up. And Oceanport, right where they're running the Haskell, 92 currently. Seagard has 94. Sandy Hook has 86, but that's out in the water, so that makes sense. But you're not seeing any signs here of an east wind, unfortunately, and that's what we're kind of looking for to help cool us down at some of the beaches. The whole state dealing with oppressive humidity right now. We have these dew points that are well up into the 70s. You add that in with the actual air temperature, and this is just ridiculous. I mean, Toms River feels like 111 degrees right now. Farmingdale, 107. Newark, 104. Caldwell, 102. The cooler spots in the state, well north and west and towards the state capital right now. Excessive heat warning remains in effect statewide. That'll carry us through tonight and into Sunday as well. We'll zoom on back, take a look if there's any rain in our future. Not really. There are a couple storms holding together over Pennsylvania. It is my hope something might pop up here across the state later on today, but I think that unfortunately is not a very good chance. Around 5 o'clock later this afternoon, it still feels like 105 to about 110 degrees. Overnight, not much better. You're waking up early Sunday morning with feels like temperatures well into the 80s. We'll do it all over again on Sunday with the excessive heat in place. And if you look at your moodcast for today, if you're outside too long, I think this emoji face will represent what you'll look like. We're looking for a mix of sun and clouds, mainly sunny though, and temperatures are going to be well up into the 90s. Again, there's a slight chance of a pop-up shower or storm, which could provide at least some relief, and we're going to talk about that coming up in just a bit. But for now, stay indoors, stay in the air conditioning. That is certainly your best bet. Karen, let's send it back to you.
July, it's hot, and nothing has changed. I mean, yeah, global warming, so what do you got, a couple of degrees, but still, it's hot. It's like when it rains in Ireland, what do? They put on a raincoat. So, we'll put water on the horses and they get the best of care, and we just do like we've been doing for the last 100 years.
The 52nd Haskell Invitational still on. This despite concerns and calls from many asking organizers to cancel them. They're concerned the heat will harm the horses. The spokesperson says the state's chief veterinarian and the American Association of Equine Practitioners is on site to make sure they're going to be okay. But protesters, they're outside the racetrack right now. Let's get right to News 12 New Jersey's Rebecca Granite. And Rebecca, it's quite the scene behind you.
Yeah, and as you can see here at the Haskell, there are protests going on right outside the racetrack. You can see signs saying horse racing kills horses. People here telling me they're very upset about the heat and the humidity here and them allowing the horses to race here with their hair and the sweating and the excessive sweating that can happen here. And Joe Silva, I'm going to bring you over here to talk to him. He's the one who organized this protest. And Joe, tell me why you guys are out here today.
First and foremost, we're not here because of heat indexes or temperature. We're going to be here no matter what. That's first and foremost. We're out here because 18 horses dead in 2018 at this track, 3 horses dead in the last couple of months. One of them's first race, December 22nd, 2018. Didn't even race for 6 months. This place kills baby horses. We're gonna let them know. We're raising the veil. We're letting people know what goes on. We're also giving leaflets and information to some onlookers that don't know the cruelty that they're about to pay for.
So we do know that you're here because of the fact that you're against horse racing, but what does the heat and humidity add to that for you in this protest?
For us, it proves that it's all about money. In fact, we called to ask why they were still running the races when places like Belmont and Saratoga have already canceled. Their employees' responses were that those places had casinos. They still have a way of making money that day.
And Joe, how long do you guys plan to be out here today?
Today, as long as people are coming in, and for the future, every year until the track closes. We're all agreeing that dog racing's wrong, with only a couple dog tracks left in the country. Ask yourself, what's the difference? If one's wrong, they're both wrong.
Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we did hear from the spokesperson here at the Monmouth Park racetrack that several horses are not going to be running today. It is yet to be confirmed as to whether that is due to the heat or not. We'll be here monitoring this in Oceanport. Rebecca Granite, News 12, New Jersey.
All right, Rebecca, we'll make sure to check back in with you. Thank you. Meanwhile, the extreme heat and poor air quality concerning parents whose children were planning to attend the Kids Bop concert at PNC Bank Arts Center. Calls coming into our newsroom over these concerns as well. Ticket holders telling us they want the concert postponed because it isn't safe to be outside. Many people selling tickets on sites like StubHub. The cheapest ticket we saw was just over $15. Now, PNC Bank Arts Center says the show will go on. They say misters and water stations will be located at the plazas. People are welcome to bring in refillable water bottles as well. Well, the New Jersey State Triathlon is going on as planned, but with changes because of this heat. Organizers say the two-day event is underway, but they've modified the race. The triathlon annually draws in about 3,500 athletes and more than 6,000 spectators to Mercer County Park in West Windsor. Given how hot it is, the Olympic distance triathlon is being cut in half to a short swim, a 13-mile bike, and then a 5K run. Power companies in New Jersey say they do not expect any issues today. Reps from PSE&G and JCP&L say their systems are designed to handle high heat and they will operate efficiently. If there are outages, however, they say crews have reviewed overheating procedures to make sure they are handled promptly. Well, being outside in the hot weather is not just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous, especially for people working in it. OSHA recommends workers and employers take hot weather seriously. They have an app to help workers navigate working in the hot weather. And that app provides practical tips, but also helps workers know their rights. Photojournalist John Capriati with that story.
We require that employers provide rest, water, shade, and to understand and recognize symptoms of heat exposure so workers don't die from this. It's a very serious hazard.
Just drink a lot of water. I mean, there's not much else you could do, and if you find shade, you go underneath it every once in a while, that's it.
We try to inform employers and employees of as much information as we can about heat. There's a heat app. The app is either Apple or Android. It tells you the temperature and the humidity, and then it tells you that right now, even though it's 84 degrees outside, it feels like it's 90 degrees, so it's very hot. And then you can look at hourly. At 5 p.m., it's going to feel like 106 degrees. Very, very dangerous area. You can see it turns red. It's too hot to do certain things, and they need to protect themselves.
Someone says they're not feeling well, you know, they go find a shady spot, sit down, drink water. I mean, if it's that bad and they got to go home, you know, they go home.
There is a difference between working in a store that doesn't have the air conditioning versus working outside where the dangers are very, very real and can really cause some very severe injuries, illnesses, and death.
Well, a planned closure along the Pulaski Skyway is postponed, all because of this excessive heat. New Jersey's DOT says they now plan on not working for another 2 weeks. A contractor was planning on doing pier replacement work. The construction is part of 2 major DOT projects costing over $1 billion. There's an additional worry for people in this extreme heat. A new study says that consuming alcohol outside can increase the risk of skin cancer. The research was published in the British Journal of Dermatology. The study suggests that drinking alcohol outside can reduce the amount of time you can spend in the sun before you get a sunburn. Also, did you know that a bottle of water in your car could start a fire? First responders say it's possible. The plastic and the water could act like a magnifying glass and heat up the seat or the dash. Heat it up so much that it starts a fire, in fact. Firefighters suggest keeping that out of direct sunlight. Make sure you stay with News 12 New Jersey for continuing coverage of this dangerous heat. You can find the very latest forecast conditions on news12.com and on our News 12 app.
News 12 celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Celebrations throughout the week for the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Google is paying tribute to Margaret Hamilton. Now, she's the woman who created the software that put man on the moon. And Google unveiled a nearly 1.5 square mile portrait of Hamilton in the Mojave Desert. It was created by positioning over 107,000 mirrors to reflect the light of the moon. So cool. And 50 years since man walked on the moon, you can only imagine the pride of Jersey's own Buzz Aldrin. A week of festivities capping off on the anniversary of the first moon visit. He and fellow Apollo 11 astronaut Michael Collins were called to the White House this week to honor their mission and their accomplishment. The New Jersey State Attorney General's Office Shooting Response Task Force is investigating a fatal police-involved shooting in Burlington. Let's take a look at the scene from above in Pemberton. Police say a police officer shot one person during this incident, and it prompted this massive county-wide police response. Officials have not yet released what caused this fatal shooting. In Hudson County, prosecutors are investigating a fatal shooting in Jersey City. The prosecutor's office confirmed that homicide for us this morning. They say the incident happened near New Heckman Drive. 3 people in total were shot. 1 of those 3 died. The condition of the other 2 victims has not yet been released. 3 men, including 2 New York City corrections officers, are now facing charges in a Patterson shooting. Keith Hood and Rasheem Williams are reported to be with Rikers. The victim said to be an East Orange resident. The owner of T's Gentlemen's Club tells News 12 the victim ran into his establishment after the attack, calling for help. A 3rd suspect, Jeffrey Hulse, has been charged with attempted murder, while the 2 corrections officers are charged with unlawful possession of a handgun. No motive behind the shooting has been released. And a former corrections officer is going to prison. Stephen Saunders pleading guilty to smuggling painkillers, pot, and tobacco to inmates at Southern State Correctional in Maurice River. Saunders, who held the role of senior correctional officer, will be sentenced in September. Grocery chain Wegmans announcing a couple of recalls that affects some of the store's packaged baked goods. The recall covers 54-ounce large cakes, 17-ounce mini cakes, and 6-ounce cake slices. Also covers assorted whole wheat muffins that contain carrot apple muffins. The baked goods may contain pieces of plastic. Wegmans has 9 locations in our state. Anyone who bought those products should return them for a refund. Well, roller coasters are fun until they end up like this, right? The Firebird roller coaster at Six Flags in Maryland, it got stuck. The riders, they didn't move for more than an hour and a half. They then had to walk down by rescuers. Jeez. Well, the ride is closed until it can be inspected. Well, it's no secret that the British are very serious about their tea, and now the Rubens at the Palace in London, it's serving what is being called the UK's most expensive cup of tea. The rare blend of tea, it costs $620 per pot. Works out to be about $200 a cup. Produced in the highlands of Sri Lanka, Golden Tips, it's handpicked by expert tea pluckers and sun-dried on a velvet cloth, of course, which turns the buds from silver to gold. Well, you may know Chance the Rapper, but here is Chance the Snapper. The gator found in the city's Humboldt Park last week. It was likely a pet and then released when he got too big. Well, Chance the Snapper now has a new home. He was flown to Florida, an alligator park there. He'll be quarantined for a while in its own pools as experts assess his health.
It is very hot across the Garden State right now. We're going to get right to your forecast in just a moment, but first we want to hear from our partners at SodaStream.
It's hot out there. You look like you need a cold, bubbly refreshment. So before you get your News 12 summer forecast, let me show you how easy it is to make your own sparkling drinks. First, use a reusable bottle like this one. Then choose your level of carbonation. We're going to go medium on this one. Hit it twice. Then at the touch of a button, you got your bubbles. Then you can add your favorite flavor, any flavor you want, and enjoy the taste without any of that plastic waste. And see, look how fast it goes. Then you're ready. All right, now back to your local weathercast on News 12.
And certainly staying hydrated is part of the plan if you have to be outdoors throughout the day. Light-colored clothing, anything you can do to limit the effects of this brutal heat. Now, we are seeing some clouds coming in from the Poconos right now, some high, thin clouds, perhaps helping to keep our northern counties a little bit on the cooler side. And by cooler, I mean lower 90s in the Sussex County area. Perhaps. We'll have to see how things work out here as we go throughout the day. All right, current temperature here in the Newark area is 95. You have a feels like of 105. This is just plain dangerous. There is no reason to be outdoors in weather conditions like this. There is a slight chance, and I'm really hoping for this, I'm rooting for this, that a shower or storm could pop up later on this afternoon. They're going to be very isolated in nature. We're not looking for a lot of rain, but if we get it, it will help to cool down small parts of the state. It's about a 10% chance of seeing something popping up here on our high-resolution rapid refresh model. You can see these are very few and far between. Extreme heat for today, we're talking about a high of 100 degrees. We have areas that are well up into the 90s elsewhere, and certainly with the humidity, it feels more like 110 to even 115. So don't play around with this kind of heat. Heat stroke, heat exhaustion, these are things that can set in very, very quickly, and age is not really a factor. You could be in great shape and still be affected by these heat-related illnesses. West wind, unfortunately, is keeping the sea breeze at bay for the time being. Hopefully, we can develop something here throughout the day, but it doesn't look like it as of yet. No relief overnight. Warm, muggy temperatures right around the 80-degree mark or in the upper 70s. 7-day forecast for northern central parts of the state. Well, we have 100 degrees for today, 98 on Sunday. Monday, showers and storms will finally break the heat, and then beautiful weather actually beyond that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Southern parts of the state, same deal, very, very hot, a little cooler in the middle and upper 90s. Then the heat will break Monday into Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday look to be gorgeous. Lower humidity, a lot of sunshine, temperatures seasonably in about the middle 80s. That's a look at your News 12 summer forecast. Let's send it back to Cheddar's Baker Machado.
I hope you enjoyed the News 12 summer forecast brought to you by SodaStream.